discuss one of the basic law in electronics, which is Ohm's law, which relates voltage, current and resistance. So we can simply say that Ohm's law is a fundamental law that connects the idea of voltage, current and resistance. So for example, let's imagine this is a hose pipe, and what we are going to do is we are pumping water from point A to point B. So if we need to flow water from point A to point B, we need to apply some pressure, right? So this water flow, the speed, the flow of water is depending upon the pressure we are giving, correct? Similarly, if there is an obstruction in between, if for example the same pipe, but in the middle of the pipe is very narrow, for example, so water is pumping here, but there is an obstruction here, right, in this part, and similarly water flowing here, but the flow of water is getting restricted in this area because of this narrow pipeline. So this is the obstruction here. So here, for in this example, the flow of water, the water flow is depending upon how much pressure we are applying and the obstruction also. So if there is an obstruction, the flow of water is getting reduced, right? So here more water flow is there, but here what will happen? Because of the restriction, small amount of water only will flow. So in case of a conductor, conducting material, the water flow is the flow of electrons or flow of charged particles. So this flow of charged particles is depending upon the how much pressure I said here, right? Similarly, how much potential energy I have applied. Potential energy is nothing but voltage in the electrical circuit. So the flow of charge is nothing but the current. Similarly, the obstruction I said, right? Obstruction is nothing but the resistance of the conducting material. So how much the charge flows in a period, that is the resistance. So Ohm's law is saying that the current or the flow of electron, that is nothing but the current. So the current flow is depending upon the pressure or potential energy or the voltage applied and the resistance of the material. So what actually Ohm's law is saying, at a constant temperature, the current flowing through a conductor between 2 points is directly proportional to the voltage across the conductor and also inversely proportional to the resistance. Here we have a water tank and an electrical circuit. The water inside the tank represents the electrical charge in the circuit, and the water level is the pressure, and it's in case of electrical circuit, the water level or the pressure represents the voltage, and the flow of water is depending upon one more factor. What is that? The diameter of the hose pipe. So here the diameter of the hose pipe represents the resistance of the circuit. So in this circuit we can see that we have one voltage source V and which is connected to a resistor R. So because of this resistor, what will happen? Current will start flowing. So here the flow of water is depending upon the pressure or the water level and the diameter of the hose pipe, right? Similarly, the circuit current is depending upon the voltage and the resistance value in that particular circuit. Or in case of a conductor, the charge flowing, the electron flow or the current flow is depending upon the voltage and resistance. So this is what is Ohm's law. Here we have two water tanks, A and B, which contains equal amount of water, but both having different diameter of hose pipe. So A is having lesser diameter and B is having higher diameter of the hose pipe. So the tank which has larger hose pipe, which is B, so B is having larger hose pipe, right? So it will have more water flow. Similarly, where the diameter of the pipe is smaller, so here in A, diameter of the pipe is very small. So the flow of water will be less compared to B, because the water will absorb more amount of resistance here, because the diameter of the hose pipe is very less, right? Very small. So because of that, high resistance will be there. So because of that, water flow will be less. So this is the case. This is our A pipe and this is our B pipe. So B having diameter bigger compared to A. So easy flow will happen here. Easy flow of water will happen here compared to A. Here also water will flow, but less amount of water will flow, because when it flows through a larger diameter hose pipe, it feels lesser resistance. Here diameter is very high, so less amount of resistance only it will feel. So more number of or more amount of water will flow. Just correlate this with a electrical circuit. So we have two electrical circuit here which is having same voltage. So both is having same voltage source and different resistance. So I'm going to name this R1 and this is R2. So here we have R2 lesser than R1, similar to this example. So in case of B, lesser resistance compared to A. Similarly, R2 is very less than R1. So the figure B, current will flow, right? In the both cases, current will flow. Let us assume this is I1 and this is I2. Here, in case of B, figure B, current will be more. Why? Because we know that the equation of Ohm's law, I equal to V by R. According to Ohm's law, current is equal to voltage by resistance. If the resistance is more, current will get reduced. If the resistance become less, what will happen? Current will get increased. Current will get increased. Similarly, here if the diameter or the resistance is very lesser, I2 become more compared to I1, because we know that I1 equation will be V by R1. Similarly, I2 equation will be V by R2. So if R2 is less compared to R1 means I2 become higher than I1. So this is how we can relate current and resistance. Let us take another example. We have two water tank A and B with same diameter of hose pipe, but both the water tanks having different amount of water level. So this is H1, height is different. This is, take this as H2. So the water level is different, which means the pressure exerted at the hose pipe, bottom of the hose pipe, is different for both A and B. Here in the first tank, that is A, we have less amount of water. You can see that we have less amount of water. So the pressure exerted at the bottom of the hose pipe also become very less. Because of this, what will happen? The flow of water become less. While in case of second tank, the tank B, it contains more amount of water. So the pressure exerted at the bottom of the pipe will be more, right? Because of this more pressure, what will happen? More water will flow through this pipe. So let's correlate this example with an electrical circuit. We have two electrical circuit A and B with different voltage. So let's assume this is voltage V1, voltage source V1, and this is voltage source V2. But these are having same amount of resistance, that is R. So both are having similar resistance. So let's assume here V2 is greater than V1. Similar to this water tank example, the voltage in the second circuit, that is B, is more. So more amount of current will flow through which circuit? Through B. Why? Because we know that the equation of current I equal to V by R. Here in the circuit A1, let us assume current I1 is flowing, and the circuit B, current I2 is flowing. So what will be the current I1 in A? I1 is equal to V1 by R. Similarly, I2 is equal to V2 by R. If both resistance are constants, so nothing bothered about resistance here, but the voltage levels is different. So V2 is increasing, which means if voltage V is getting increased, means current also will get increased. If V is getting reduced, voltage is getting reduced, means current also will get reduced. So if because of V2 is more, the voltage in the second circuit is more, the current in the second circuit will be more, so that I2 is greater than I1. So if we keep constant V, if you are checking Ohm's law equation, I is equal to V by R, if we are keeping constant voltage and we are increasing the resistance, what will happen? I am increasing the resistance and keeping the voltage. Then what will happen? The current will get reduced because it's inversely proportional, right? Similarly, if I am keeping this R constant, so I equal to V by R, I am keeping R constant and I am increasing voltage. What will happen? The current will get increased because it's directly proportional. This voltage, current and resistance relationship we can easily identify or we can easily remember by using Ohm's law triangle. So it's just a triangle and we cut it into three parts. So this is become V, I and R. So if you want to check V equal to, we will get I into R. If you want to find I, then what will be the remaining? V by R. And if you want to find resistance R, we can find like V by I. So this is the easiest way to remember the relationship between these three things.